Title: Class 10 English Chapter 5 Glimpses of India, Complete Explanation and NCERT Solutions, Study Genius IQ. Disclaimer: This video is created for educational purposes only. The content is based on the NCERT textbook and is intended to help students understand and learn efficiently. Introduction. Chapter 5 of Class 10 English, titled Glimpses of India, is a collection of 3 beautiful stories that offer insight into India's diverse culture, traditions, and heritage. The 3 parts of the chapter are: A Baker from Goa, which highlights the traditional practice of bread making in Goa; Coorg, which describes the scenic beauty and unique culture of Coorg; and Tea from Assam, which explores the famous tea plantations of Assam. These stories not only provide historical and cultural information but also give readers a sense of nostalgia and appreciation for India's rich diversity. In this video, we will provide a complete explanation, including an English summary, Hindi explanation, and NCERT question answers. English summary. A Baker from Goa. The first part of the chapter, A Baker from Goa, is a nostalgic account of Goa's traditional bread baking culture, which was introduced by the Portuguese. The story describes how bakers, called padders, were essential to Goan society. The author recalls childhood memories of bakers selling freshly baked bread, which was a part of every meal. He explains how the presence of a baker's bamboo staff and the delightful aroma of bread were an everyday part of life in Goa. Even after the Portuguese left, the tradition of bread making continued, and to this day, Goan bread remains an important part of local culture. Coorg. The second part, Coorg, takes the reader on a journey to a beautiful district in Karnataka, known for its lush coffee plantations, misty hills, and rich culture. The people of Coorg, called Korwas, are known for their bravery and hospitality. The story describes how Korwas have a deep connection to the Indian army, as many of them serve as soldiers. Their distinct culture, combined with Coorg's breathtaking landscapes and diverse wildlife, makes the region one of the most sought-after travel destinations in India. The chapter paints a vivid picture of Coorg's beauty, traditions, and adventurous appeal. Tea from Assam. The third and final part, Tea from Assam, follows the journey of 2 friends, Pranjal and Rajveer, as they travel to Assam. Rajveer is fascinated by the endless tea plantations and is eager to learn about tea's history. The story provides interesting facts about tea, explaining how it was first discovered in China and later spread to India, where Assam became one of the largest tea-producing regions in the world. As the 2 friends explore the tea gardens, they witness the hard work that goes into tea production. The story highlights Assam's contribution to the global tea industry and captures the essence of India's love for tea. हिंदी व्याख्या, हिंदी एक्सप्लेनेशन. गोवा का एक बेकर. पहला भाग, गोवा का एक बेकर, हमें गोवा के पारंपरिक ब्रेड बनाने के व्यवसाय की झलक दिखाता है, जिसे पुर्तगालियों ने यहाँ शुरू किया था. लेखक अपने बचपन को याद करते हुए बताते हैं कि कैसे गांवों में पाडर, बेकर्स का बहुत सम्मान किया जाता था. सुबह सुबह उनके बांस की छड़ी की आवाज और ताजी ब्रेड की महक पूरे मोहल्ले में फैल जाती थी. ब्रेड, विशेष रूप से विवाह और त्योहारों के दौरान, हर घर का अहम हिस्सा होती थी. भले ही समय बदल गया हो, लेकिन आज भी गोवा में ब्रेड बनाना एक महत्वपूर्ण परंपरा बना हुआ है. कूर्ग. दूसरा भाग, कूर्ग, हमें कर्नाटक के इस खूबसूरत स्थान की सैर कराता है, जो अपने कॉफी बागानों और प्राकृतिक सुंदरता के लिए प्रसिद्ध है. यहाँ के लोग, जिन्हें कोडवस कहा जाता है, अपनी बहादुरी और अतिथि सत्कार के लिए जाने जाते हैं. भारतीय सेना में इनका महत्वपूर्ण योगदान है. कोडवस की संस्कृति, खान पान और परंपराएं काफी अनोखी हैं. इस कहानी में कूर्ग की हरियाली, नदियां, वन्यजीव और रोमांचक पर्यटन स्थलों का खूबसूरत वर्णन किया गया है. असम की चाय. तीसरा भाग, असम की चाय, 2 दोस्तों, प्रांजल और राजवीर की यात्रा का वर्णन करता है, जो असम की चाय बागानों की सैर पर निकले हैं. राजवीर पहली बार असम आ रहा है और यहाँ की चाय संस्कृति को लेकर बहुत उत्साहित है. कहानी में बताया गया है कि चाय की खोज चीन में हुई थी और बाद में ये भारत समेत पूरी दुनिया में लोकप्रिय हो गई. असम अपने चाय बागानों के लिए प्रसिद्ध है, जहाँ चाय की पत्तियां तोड़ने और बनाने की प्रक्रिया बारीकी से समझाई जाती है. ये कहानी न केवल असम की प्राकृतिक सुंदरता दिखाती है, बल्कि चाय उद्योग के महत्व को भी उजागर करती है. Oral Comprehension Check. Part 1. A Baker from Goa. Q1. What are the elders in Goa nostalgic about? Uns. The elders in Goa are nostalgic about the traditional Portuguese-influenced bread-making culture. They fondly remember the times when bakers, known as padders, would visit their neighborhoods every morning, selling fresh bread. The sight of the baker's bamboo staff and the delicious aroma of freshly baked bread remind them of their childhood days. Q2. Is bread making still popular in Goa? How do you know? Uns. Yes, bread making is still popular in Goa. The story mentions that traditional Goan bakers continue their profession, and their furnaces are still operational. The demand for bread and other baked goods remains high, indicating that the legacy of padders has continued over generations. Q3. What is the baker called? Uns. The baker in Goa is called a padder. This term has been used since Portuguese times to refer to traditional bread makers in Goa. Q4. When would the baker come every day? Why did the children run to meet him? Uns. The baker would come every morning, carrying a large basket of freshly baked bread. He would make his arrival known by tapping his bamboo staff on the ground. The children would eagerly run to meet him, not for the bread itself but for the bread bangles, pav, and sweet bread treats he would give them as a special delight. Oral Comprehension Check. Page 57. Part 1. A Baker from Goa. Q1. Match the following. What is a must? I. As marriage gifts. Sweet bread called bol. E. For a party or a feast. Bread. E. For a daughter's engagement. Cakes in Bolenhaus. IV. For Christmas. Sandwiches. Q2. What did the bakers wear? I. In the Portuguese days. E. When the author was young. Uns. I. In the Portuguese days, the bakers wore a special knee-length dress called cabai. E. When the author was young, the bakers wore shirts and trousers that were shorter than full-length pants but longer than half pants. Q3. Who invites the comment? He is dressed like a padder. Y. Uns. A person who wears a half pant that reaches just below the knees invites the comment. He is dressed like a padder. This is because bakers in Goa traditionally wore such attire. Q4. Where were the monthly accounts of the baker recorded? Uns. The monthly accounts of the baker were recorded on the wall using a pencil. This was a simple yet effective way of keeping track of payments. Q5. What does a jackfruit-like appearance mean? Uns. A. Jackfruit-like appearance refers to a fat and plump physique. The baker, due to his profession, consumed a lot of baked goods and thus often had a well-fed, chubby appearance, resembling a jackfruit. Thinking about the text, Part 1, a baker from Goa. Q1. Which of these statements are correct? I. Right, the padder was an important person in the village in old times. E. Right, padders still exist in Goan villages. E. Wrong, the padders went away with the Portuguese. IV. Wrong, the padders continue to wear a single-piece long frock. V. Right, bread and cakes were an integral part of Goan life in the old days. V. Right, traditional bread baking is still a very profitable business. V. Wrong, padders and their families starve in the present times. Q2. Is bread an important part of Goan life? How do you know this? Uns. Yes, bread is an important part of Goan life. The text mentions that bread and cakes are essential for various occasions such as weddings, engagements, Christmas, and other festivals. The presence of padders in Goan villages even today indicates that bread continues to hold cultural and social significance. Q3. Take the right answer. What is the tone of the author when he says the following? I. The thud and the jingle of the traditional baker's bamboo can still be heard in some places. Nostalgic. E. Maybe the father is not alive but the son still carries on the family profession. Hopeful. E. I still recall the typical fragrance of those loaves. Nostalgic. IV. The tiger never brushed his teeth. Hottie could wash and clean up everything so nicely, after all. Funny. V. Cakes and Bolenhaus are a must for Christmas as well as other festivals. Matter of fact. V. The baker and his family never starved. They always looked happy and prosperous. Matter of fact. Thinking about the text, Part 2, Coorg. Q1. Where is Coorg? Uns. Coorg, also known as Kodagu, is a beautiful district in Karnataka, India. It is located midway between Mysore and Mangalore and is famous for its coffee plantations, lush greenery, and mist-covered hills. Q2. What is the story about the Kodavu people's descent? Uns. The Kodavu people are believed to be of either Greek or Arab descent. According to one story, a part of Alexander's army settled in Coorg after being unable to return to Greece. Another theory suggests that the Kodwas are of Arab origin, as evident from their unique traditional attire, which includes a long coat with an embroidered waist belt. Q3. What are some of the things you now know about? I. The people of Coorg. They are brave, independent, and known for their warm hospitality. The Coorg regiment in the Indian Army is one of the most decorated, and many Kodwas have served in the armed forces with distinction. E. The main crop of Coorg. Coffee is the main crop grown in Coorg, and it is famous for its high-quality coffee plantations. E. The sports it offers to tourists. Coorg offers a variety of adventure sports such as river rafting, canoeing, rock climbing, mountain biking, and trekking. IV. The animals you are likely to see in Coorg. Coorg is home to a diverse range of wildlife, including macaques, Malabar squirrels, langurs, slender lorises, and wild elephants. V. Its distance from Bangalore, and how to get there. Coorg is located about 260 kilometers from Bangalore. It can be reached by road via Mysore or Mangalore as the nearest. Railway stations and airports are in these cities. Q4. Find phrases from the text that have the same meaning as the italicized words. I. During monsoons it rains so heavily that tourists do not visit Coorg. It pours enough to keep tourists away. E. Some people say that Alexander's army moved south along the coast and settled there. As one story goes, E. The Coorg people are always ready to tell stories of their sons and fathers' valor. More than willing to recount. IV. Even people who normally lead an easy and slow life get smitten by the high-energy adventure sports of Coorg. The most laid-back individuals become converts to. V. The theory of the Arab origin is supported by the long coat with embroidered waist belt they wear. Draw support from the long, black coat with an embroidered waist belt. Thinking about language, collocations from Para 7. 1. Match the nouns with suitable adjectives to form correct collocations. I. Culture, unique culture, ancient culture. E. Monks, serious monks, ancient monks. E. Surprise, sudden surprise, unforgettable surprise. IV. Experience, unforgettable experience, unique experience. V. Weather, terrible weather, unpredictable weather. V. Tradition, ancient tradition, unique tradition. 2. Complete the phrases from the text and add another possible word. I. Tales of bravery, other word, tales of adventure. E. Coastal town, other word, coastal area. E. A piece of heaven, other word, a piece of advice. IV. Evergreen forests, other word, evergreen trees. V. Plantations of coffee, other word, plantations of tea. V. Bridge across the river, other word, bridge of understanding. V. Wild animals, other word, wild adventure. Thinking about language, Part 2. 1. Complete the sentences using the given words. I. A heavy downpour has been forecast due to low pressure in the Bay of Bengal. E. Rakesh will undergo major surgery tomorrow morning. E. My brother is responsible for the upkeep of our family property. IV. The dropout rate for this accountancy course is very high. V. She went to the enterprise company to attend a walk-in interview. 2. Complete the blanks using the correct verb form. I. The army attempted unsuccessfully to overthrow the government. E. Scientists are on the brink of a major breakthrough in cancer research. 3. Adjectives, ing and ed forms to describe situations and feelings. I. A good detective serial on television. Interesting. E. A debate on your favorite topic, homework should be banned. Exciting. E. How you feel when you stay indoors due to incessant rain. Bored. IV. How you feel when you open a present. Excited. V. How you feel when you watch your favorite program on television. Entertained. V. The look on your mother's face as you waited in a queue. Annoyed. V. How you feel when tracking a tiger in a tiger reserve forest. Thrilled. V. The story you have recently read, or a film you have seen. Fascinating. 4. Paragraph on Coorg using ing and ed adjectives. Coorg is an exciting place, filled with breathtaking natural beauty. Visiting this region is an enriching experience. The history and culture of the Kodavu people are truly fascinating. When tourists reach Coorg, they feel relaxed in its serene environment. Adventure seekers are thrilled by the variety of activities such as river rafting and trekking. The local traditions and customs are quite interesting, and travelers are amazed by the hospitality of the people. Overall, Coorg offers a memorable and entertaining experience for all visitors. Summary of the poem, The Trees. The poem, The Trees, by Adrian Rich symbolizes freedom and the powerful urge of nature to reclaim its rightful place. The poet describes how trees, once trapped indoors, are now breaking free and returning to their natural habitat, the forest. The empty forest, devoid of birds, insects, and shade, will soon be lively again with the presence of trees. Throughout the night, the trees struggle to free themselves from the cracks of the floor and the confinement of human-made spaces. Their movements resemble patients recovering after a long illness, slowly making their way toward freedom. Meanwhile, the poet, sitting indoors, writes letters but hardly mentions this significant event. As the trees break free, the poet hears the sounds of their escape, the breaking of glass and the rush of the wind welcoming them. The moonlight reflects on the tallest tree's crown, signifying the momentous departure of the trees. The poem highlights the themes of liberation, nature's resilience, and the impact of human intervention on the environment. पेड़ कविता की हिंदी व्याख्या. कविता, द ट्रीज, पेड़ प्रकृति की स्वतंत्रता और पुनर्स्थापन की इच्छा को दर्शाती है. कवि बताती है कि कैसे घर के अंदर बंद पेड़ अब बाहर निकलकर जंगल में जा रहे हैं. वह जंगल, जो अब तक खाली था, सुबह तक पेड़ों से भर जाएगा. पहले जहां न कोई पक्षी बैठ सकता था, न कोई कीट छिप सकता था, और न ही सूर्य की छाया दिखती थी, अब वहां जीवन लौट आएगा. रात भर पेड़ की जड़ें जमीन से खुद को निकालने की कोशिश करती हैं, पत्तियां कांच की ओर झुकती हैं, और लंबे समय से सीमित शाखाएं खुद को छत के नीचे से बाहर निकालने के लिए संघर्ष करती हैं. ये दृश्य अस्पताल से छुट्टी पाए मरीजों की तरह है, जो धीरे धीरे अपने नए जीवन की ओर बढ़ रहे हैं. कवि, जो दरवाजे खुले रखकर बैठी हैं, पत्र लिख रही हैं, लेकिन इस विशाल परिवर्तन का उल्लेख नहीं करती. जैसे ही पेड़ बाहर निकलते हैं, हवा उनका स्वागत करती है और कांच टूटने की आवाज आती है. चांदनी, जो अब तक पूरी थी, टूटे हुए दर्पण की तरह दिखने लगती है, और उसकी चमक सबसे ऊंचे पेड़ की चोटी पर झिलमिलाती है. ये कविता प्रकृति की स्वतंत्रता, मानवीय हस्तक्षेप से मुक्ति और पुनर्स्थापन की प्रक्रिया को दर्शाती है. Thinking about the poem. 1. I find, in the first stanza, 3 things that cannot happen in a treeless forest. In a treeless forest, no bird can sit on the branches. No insect can hide. The sun cannot bury its feet in the shadow. E. What picture do these words create in your mind? Sun bury its feet in shadow. What could the poet mean by the sun's feet? These words create a beautiful image of sunlight filtering through the trees and casting shadows on the ground. The phrase, sun bury its feet in shadow, suggests that the sun's rays reach the forest floor and are partially hidden by the shade of the trees. The feet of the sun symbolize its rays touching the earth. 2. Where are the trees in the poem? Where do their roots, their leaves, and their twigs do? In the poem, the trees are inside a house, trying to escape to the forest. Their roots struggle to break free from the cracks in the veranda floor. The leaves press against the glass, trying to move outward, while the twigs and branches, stiff from confinement, push forward like newly recovered patients. E. What does the poet compare their branches to? The poet compares the branches to newly discharged patients who are dazed and slowly making their way to the clinic doors. This comparison suggests that the trees have been trapped for a long time and are now regaining their natural movement. 3. How does the poet describe the moon? A. At the beginning of the third stanza, and B. At its end. What causes this change? At the beginning of the third stanza, the poet describes the moon as whole and shining brightly in the open sky. At the end of the stanza, the moon appears, broken like a mirror, with its reflections flashing in the treetops. This change happens because the trees are breaking through the glass and moving out, creating an effect where the moonlight scatters across their branches. E. What happens to the house when the trees move out of it? When the trees move out, the house becomes silent and empty. It loses the life and vibrancy that the trees once provided. The poet's head, once filled with the whispers of the trees, will now be silent. E. Why do you think the poet does not mention the departure of the forest from the house in her letters? The poet might not mention this event in her letters because people often avoid discussing significant changes that they do not fully understand or that make them uncomfortable. It could also suggest that humans have become so used to confining nature that they do not realize when it reclaims its space. 4. Now that you have read the poem in detail, we can begin to ask what the poem might mean. Here are 2 suggestions. Can you think of others? Does the poem present a conflict between man and nature? Yes, the poem highlights the conflict between man and nature. It suggests that trees, which belong in forests, are often confined indoors as decoration while real forests are being destroyed. This idea can be compared to the poem, A Tiger in the Zoo, where the tiger is imprisoned in a cage instead of living in the wild. Similarly, trees need to break out of their confinement and return to their natural habitat. Adrienne Rich has been known to use trees as a metaphor for human beings. What new meanings emerge if we take trees as symbolic? If trees are seen as symbolic of human beings, the poem could represent the struggle for freedom. The trees breaking free from the house could symbolize people escaping from oppression or societal constraints. It may reflect the idea of personal growth, self-discovery, or the breaking of traditions that limit individuals. Other interpretations could include, the poem is a feminist statement, where trees represent women breaking free from restrictive roles. A metaphor for suppressed voices finally being heard. 5. Comparison with, On Killing a Tree, by Jeev Patel. Both poems deal with trees but in different ways. Aspect, The Trees, Adrienne Rich, On Killing a Tree, Jeev Patel. Theme, freedom and escape of nature from human confinement. The resilience of trees and the difficulty of completely destroying them. Tone, hopeful and liberating. Grim and intense. Imagery, trees breaking free from a house, returning to the forest. A tree being attacked and resisting destruction. Message, nature cannot be confined and will reclaim its space. Trees are strong and deeply rooted, making their destruction difficult. Both poems highlight the power of nature, but while The Trees speaks of trees reclaiming their place, On Killing a Tree emphasizes their survival and resistance against destruction. Conclusion. Chapter 5, Glimpses of India, beautifully showcases India's diverse traditions and natural beauty. Whether it's Goa's bread making, Kurds' rich culture, or Assam's tea plantations, each story highlights a unique aspect of Indian heritage. This chapter teaches us the importance of preserving traditions and appreciating the beauty of different regions. We hope this explanation helps you understand the chapter thoroughly. अगर आपको ये वीडियो पसंद आया हो तो स्टडी जीनियस IQ को सब्सक्राइब करें और वीडियो को लाइक और शेयर करें। धन्यवाद।